I've noticed something interesting about political debates that are currently going on. It doesn't seem like the debate is between conservatives and liberals. More and more, it seems like it's between an authoritarian way to solve problems or a more tolerant way to solve problems. Let's illustrate this with a story. Every time I get on a plane, the person I'm sitting next to wants to talk politics with me. I don't know why this is the case, but there it is. And I remember one flight in particular where I was seated next to a very polite and very well-educated college professor. After the usual pleasantries, she asked me about the presidential election, and before I could answer, she told me her pick. And you guessed it, we didn't have the same person in mind. But what was interesting is what happened next. We started to discuss various issues, policies, and objectives. And I stopped her and said, I have a question for you. You and I have been talking for a while, and we have both identified the same issues. We're both trying to address poverty, sickness, crime. And we've even agreed on the same end state. We both want people to be happy, healthy, prosperous, and free. The primary difference is that you seem to be a lot more comfortable with violence than I am. Now, as you can imagine, she was shocked by this statement, so I clarified. I told her I didn't mean to be offensive, but that we should try a thought exercise in order to test this theory. So for instance, when there was a problem or when another human being is in need, I think to myself as a Christian, as an American, or just as another human being that I should help them. So maybe I contribute time or money, and maybe I come to you and I ask if you would like to help. Now maybe you say yes and write a check, maybe you volunteer or go down to the site of a disaster and assist. Or maybe you say no. But no matter what you say, you are free to make your own decision. I'm not compelling you one way or the other. Now, you see the same circumstance and you think to yourself, the government has to have more authority to address this issue. And so you advocate for greater regulations or taxes or some other form of intervention. Now, here's my question. What happens if I say no to your solution? Well, you will deprive me of property or liberty, not because I didn't want to help, not because I wasn't helping, but because I don't want to address the problem in the same way you do. You're going to punish me. Now, how do you square that with the belief that you're a tolerant person? And to her credit, she admitted that she had never thought of it that way before. And honestly, I had never thought of it that way before until someone had pointed it out to me. Because ultimately, yes, there are a lot of problems, but there's also a lot of ways that we can address those problems through the freedom and the voluntary cooperation of the marketplace. And shouldn't we at least try to address them through voluntary cooperation rather than automatically resorting to giving more power to politicians? Because after all, it's not like politicians have the best track record as ethical problem solvers, which you can learn more about by watching our video right here. I'm Nick Freitas with the Y Minutes, where we challenge the popular narratives of our time. Please visit our channel to subscribe and share.